Hello everyone, I'm Denise Boggs, and I want to welcome you to a healing journey. We've talked about healing your heart, but I want you to know it's a journey. It's not a one-time prayer. It's not a one-time situation. No, where you go to one conference, or you listen to one podcast, or you talk to your favorite counselor. No, this is a journey. And you have to be careful who's on that journey with you. Okay? You have to be careful. And so I'm going to lay out some guidelines for you from my own journey. And I want to tell you, it works. God is faithful. 40 years ago, I began my healing journey. And up until that time, I had let one person sin against me dictate my joy and peace, and even define my identity. I've talked to you about it before in some of the podcasts, but I want to tell you this, that if you let one person who's hurt you continue to hurt you, by you continuing to hold on to it, it will take you off the path that God has set for your life. Do you know what? And I love this in Jeremiah. Jeremiah said, He knew me. God knew me before He even put me down here in my mother's womb. So God has a plan and a purpose. He knows you. And then God said to Jeremiah, I've called you forth to be a prophet to the nations. Okay. Do you know you can be stuck in the pain of your past and not fully see the fullness of what God sent you to the earth to accomplish? So that's what the healing journey is all about, okay? And the reason I'm calling it a journey is you may have to go back in time a little bit to bring peace to the past, to get peace and rest in your soul in the present, so you can hear God clearly on what He has for the future. Okay? It's all tied together. Healing the heart is such a key to unlock your destiny. Do you know one painful thing can just shut you down? And you're not even aware of it because you've never been healed from it, but you put it out of your mind and pressed it down and said, oh, I'm past it. I've forgiven them. No. Until you go through the whole process that, listen, David lined it out in the 23rd Psalm. It's a whole process to go through. And David, it worked for him. He became king of Israel. He's still known as King David. He accomplished the assignment God had for him on the earth. Do you want to accomplish the assignment God has for you on the earth? Then I want to take you through a healing journey. The 23rd Psalm was the journey God took me through. Now I'm telling you about this 40 years later. 40 years later. And I'm going to unfold to you what it's like and how to know if you're still on the right path, okay? Dr. Darius Daniels invited me down to his church, and we had a time together speaking, and somebody from the audience said, how do I know any unhealed areas in my heart? And I said, every area in your life, your heart, where you're not at peace, you got to get some healing. The work of righteousness, getting your heart right with God, requires you to do some work in order for you to have peace. You've got to deal with whatever it is that's still causing a restlessness in your soul, that's still dictating your thoughts, that's still, stealing your joy and your peace. I live in a peaceable habitation right here where I live. I'm at peace with God. And I was realizing as I was preparing to teach this today that every single family member that's hurt me, I made peace with, and our relationships were restored. Okay? That includes the one that tried to kill me, choke me, betrayed me, all of those. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. Legal accusations, all the things, okay? The abuse. But I'm promising you, healing will restore, listen, everything back to you that the enemy stole from you. But you're not going to just get it by sitting in front of a TV or scrolling through your phone or going to church on Sunday and having one prayer. No. It's a process of working through the pain. And I want to lead you in that process. And we have to go through one situation at a time to process pain. You can't just do a blanket prayer. I think so many healing and deliverance ministries say, well, all right, just do this prayer. Yes, prayer is a part of it. Prayer is. It's a key. But the next day, there's another prayer based on what triggers you that day. Okay? What's triggering you and causing you to overreact tells you what you have to work on that day. That day. Okay? Well, I prayed the prayer back here. Yeah, that covered that day. Listen, your salvation is daily. You work out. Every day you can be experiencing the fullness of being saved from the pain that happened in the past. Jesus said in Luke 4:18, He came to heal the brokenhearted and set you free from that pain. Until you healed, you're captive to the pain. Your mindsets, your thought processes, your overreactions emotionally, even, now this is going to be hard to hear, the choices you make. Did you know you can choose a mate out of unresolved pain from your childhood? Because you're trying to work something out from childhood. Now, I'm not going to tell everybody go divorce because God hates divorce. I'm telling you to get your heart healed from the past, and then it'll bring peace in your home, and God will heal and restore. You know what? I love it. David said in 1 Samuel 30, everything was restored back. Everything's restored back. And then in the 23rd Psalm, David said, the Lord is my shepherd. He's going to lead me. The Lord is my shepherd. He leads me beside still waters. You cannot heal in turbulence. Still waters. In order to restore my soul. Restoring. Restore means you will receive back everything you lost from what was taken from you. That's recompense. Now, in this series, if you will follow Living Waters Ministry, we're going to teach you on this whole path, the path of righteousness, this path, this journey, okay? It's a journey. It's daily. But it will lead you to a promised land to fulfill the destiny God has for you. And listen, I love it. It was only 6 verses. And David said at the end, he said, I'll dwell now in the house of the Lord forever. He knew who he was. Healing restores back your true identity. Pain tries to destroy, tries to take away. That's what the enemy's plan is. To get someone significant to hurt you is the enemy's plan. That's the enemy's plan. To use a father or a mother, first of all. Okay? To bring pain into your life. Okay? So then you question your whole identity. Who am I? They're not valuing me. I must be nothing. No, that's a lie of the enemy. Why did David say he wants to restore your soul? That God was going to restore David's soul? Restore him back to who God said he is even before he was in the womb. Restore him back. Okay? But see, David had some turbulent time. Jesse didn't even call him in and validate him. He told him to go out and hang out with the sheep. So I want you to know that your pain is important, and it needs to be important enough to you that you press in to get healed from it. Whoever betrayed you, didn't recognize you, didn't affirm you, abandoned you, abused you. Let's just start with those 5. That's touched everyone's pain that's listening in some way. But do you know when you get healed from that pain, God will restore back what you lost because of that pain. I am a living proof that God keeps His word. He will restore. He will restore your soul and then lead you in a path of righteousness. The right path now. Path, one step at a time, path. And then, like David, you can say, now I dwell in the house of the Lord. I know who I am. It's who God says I am. It's not what my daddy said. It's not what my mama says. It's not what my teacher said. It's who God says. But until you remove the pain of the past, you're cluttered in your thinking. And so this is a journey of healing. And I'm a witness. It works. It works. My whole family, healed, restored, flourishing. My children, my grandchildren, all my relationships with family are healed and restored. And you know what? God says in His Word that He will restore all that the locusts have eaten. Oh, He says He'll do it, and He does. I'm not just going to preach to you the Word. I'm going to give you the evidence of what I walked through to be able to say to you today, yes, there's healing, there's deliverance, and there's peace with God. Peace. And even in these turbulent times, listen, you can live in peace. Okay? You can live in peace. Because what the enemy's trying to do now is get everybody all stirred up. Yeah, and it's disturbing. But if you have your heart healed, then you'll have fullness of joy and peace, even in the storms. I love it. Jesus said, peace be still. The storm, zoop, zoop. I've been in turbulent airplanes. I look out the window, peace be still. Zoop. Peace be still. But if there's not peace in you, you have no peace to say. You don't have any authority to speak peace. There's got to be peace within. I've given you a little bit of an overview of where we're headed, but we got to get a starting place. Everyone needs a starting place. So I'm going to share with you a starting place where I started, okay? In my own healing journey that started 40 years ago, I found a quiet place that I would meet with God every morning, early in the morning. And it was very interesting because at the time we had a swimming pool, and I'd just go past it, and every time I'd walk past the swimming pool to the swing in the backyard, I would hear the Lord say, He leads me beside still waters to restore my soul. So my place of being restored was a divine, distinct, daily encounter with God. You can't have an encounter with God at the red light, okay? I mean, you can. But you need to have a place you meet with God, because God's going to be there for you. He'll be there for you. And one morning, let me say this and then I'll get into the teaching. The Lord showed me, because I was sitting in a garden, and every morning there'd be dew on the little drops, like pearls, on the leaves of the plants all around me, pearls of dew. And it led to my whole revelation on the river of God, the living water that flows from the throne of God. So I'm sitting in there in my garden, And God has watered the place that I'm going to meet with him with the dew every morning. It's fresh every morning. Okay? So I got up a little late one morning and I'm running down my path to get beside my still water, but I'm not being real still that morning. I'm running to go beside it. And it was a little late. I'd overslept. And I want to tell you something. I sat down in my swing and the last pearl drop of dew dropped off the leaf of the plant. Just one pearl was left. One dewdrop was left. And the whole time I was running beside still waters, I said, Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me. Lord, have I missed my time with you? When I sit in that swing, I heard God say, I've been waiting on you. So find your special place with God. He's waiting for you. He's waiting on you. And that's where I met with God for 2 solid years as he healed and restored my soul. And then he told me, begin to share this with everyone I bring to you. And I began. Okay, so find your secret place, find your special place, and meet with God every day. And I don't mean meet with God holding your cell phone, okay? Or even your kitty cat, okay? You've got to meet with God. He's got to be your priority and not being distracted. Okay, so the teaching I want to share with you now, we're going to go back to this journey we're on of healing. I'm going to read to you from Ezekiel 36:26, and this is what it says. God's talking to Ezekiel, and it's amazing what God had prepared for Ezekiel to do. And some of you hearing my voice, you may be an Ezekiel, okay? He's wanting to prepare you to be able to speak to the dry bones, and they rise up as a great army. But he can't do it if you have stones in your heart. Because every stone in our heart blocks us from hearing God clearly. That's why the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness 40 years, trying to figure out which way do we go, because their hearts had hardened, okay? Had hardened places in their heart. Now, but let's go to Ezekiel here. It says, moreover, okay, let's go to verse 25, 36:25. I'll sprinkle clean water on you. You know what that was with me? That was that pearl drop. Come on. And you will be clean. I'll cleanse you from all your uncleanliness, and from all your idols. You know, I had put things in my life way ahead of God. A whole bunch of idols that I thought was so important to me. Even Bible studies. I'm going to be there and I'm going to teach. Nope. When God called me to this time of healing, everything had to be put away so I could focus on healing. Everything had to be put away where I was trying to get my needs met, that's what I'm saying. Because my heart had to be clean, clear, and the stones removed so that when I speak, dead things live. Okay, that's for somebody. Moreover, I'll give you a new heart, verse 26, and put a new spirit within you. I'll remove the heart of stone, or stony heart, from your flesh, and I'll give you a heart of flesh. Now, a heart of flesh is a heart that can feel. Everyone that's hurt you in the past that caused pain, okay, especially if it was someone close enough to you where you had opened your heart to them. Did you know you open your heart to certain people? And if they hurt you, you close your heart. That's what causes a stone to form, because love isn't flowing now into that area of your heart because you closed it out of self-protection. That happens to all of us, not just me, all of us. We've got to, just like with Ezekiel, God says, I'll take it away, but we've got to be willing to release it. The stone. The stone. And you may be thinking right now, you mean he abused me and I have to release it? Yes. Because until you release the stone, okay, then you can't fully be at peace. Because that stone is there. And, here, look at that. That stone can block you from hearing God clearly. And the river of God, see, the river of God's love is flowing to you, but can't get in this area because you've got it blocked. So he says he'll take it away and give you a new heart in that area. Oh, but I've got to release it to receive a new heart and a new spirit. And with healing, there comes that time where you may even encounter the person that hurt you. And it'll help you understand how much more healing you need. Or if you encounter someone that's like that person. Okay? I had a stone in my heart towards my father. And the minute my husband began to do things that would trigger the pain, guess what I'd do? I'd add another stone. Now it's towards my husband. I'm going to keep him blocked out. That's what a stony heart is. You block people out. It's a form of self-preservation. You're thinking, well, I don't want to hear him because what he just said hurt me. Well, it hurt you because it triggered this pain. I hope you're understanding. A stony heart is something we all have to look at, okay? And Jesus devoted three different teachings, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. It's recorded, in the Gospels, where he talks about the condition of our heart. And he refers to the stony heart. And so it's worth looking into, studying, and understanding, because until you get understanding, you will not see how important it is. You got to deal with them. Your purpose depends on it. Because the very person that's standing right in front of you that can help you in your purpose and help mentor you and instruct you, if they trigger your stone, you'll walk away from them. And yet they're key. But if they trigger the stone or remind you of the person that first hurt you, you can prematurely leave a relationship. So I'm trying to help you see and understand the stony heart. Now, in our material, you can go on our website. There's a booklet on stony heart, but we also have a full teaching that's on a digital teaching on stony heart, healing the heart, that we want to invite you to come into and study and begin, come to a retreat, okay? Because this is a teaching you may not hear on a Sunday morning service. Because it's a continuation, it's a journey of healing. But to keep moving forward in healing towards your purpose, you got to get the stones removed. I love this. I'm going to say this before I move on. That in this passage even, after that encounter with God, I'll put my spirit within you, he says, and cause you to walk in my statutes. God was saying, I'll lead you now. Once the stones are removed, you're going to hear clearer. You're going to hear clearly. And so then God says, okay, so he leads him to a valley and he said, okay, let's go in the scriptures here. Cause you to walk in my statutes, and you will keep my ordinances and do them. It'll be easy once you get rid of the stones. It's easier to follow God because you're hearing him. This is the way, walk in it. This is the way, walk in it. You're not going to be wandering around over here confused. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? The stones in your heart will distract you and you don't hear clearly. So you take a path over here or a path over here and you get confused, okay? You will live in the land that I gave to your fathers. Listen, after my stony heart was removed, God did this right here. And you will be my people, and I'll be your God. I just love this. You need, and listen, the curse is broken. I will call for grain and make it abundant. Do you know God does all that? The stones block abundance, y'all. The stones in your heart. The full blessings of God cannot come fully in because you're blocking them. Okay? Blocking. Make it abundant, and I will not bring famine on you. Come on, y'all. We're looking at some troubling times that we're in, but God says it won't come nigh your dwelling. He will bless you. He'll protect you. He will keep you safe and hid in Christ. But if you've got stones in the heart, it blocks your blessings. That's all I'm going to say for today. It blocks your blessings. Stones in the heart blocks the blessings of God. All right, tune in next time. God bless you. I want to share with you another powerful resource that's available to you to help you work through some of the issues that you may be struggling with or you may be dealing with even in your marriage. And that resource is called Healing a Stony Heart. Did you know you can have a stony heart and not even be aware of it? And the way you know where there's a stone or a hardened place in your heart, maybe your whole heart's not hardened, but there's just one little area, that's why it's called stony heart, is what causes you to get offended. What is a trigger that causes you to get so upset and offended, and then where do you overreact? Areas where you overreact out of being triggered indicates that there is an area right there in your heart where you've been hurt before. Someone hurt you, and out of your own self-protection, you just closed your heart. I'm not going to let that hurt me again. But unaware that area where your heart's closed has created a stone, a hardened place, because it takes love flowing to keep the heart open in every area. But if you're guarded in an area, that's another indicator. You've got a stony heart, you've got a stone there, and that will block the flow of love. You can't flow if there's a guardedness. So I want to encourage you, get this resource, Healing a Stony Heart.
If Living Waters has been a blessing to you and you would like to help support this ministry, you can give on our website, livingwatersministry.com/donate, or text any amount to 84321. We have additional resources for you to continue on your journey to healing in our online bookstore.